We're going where you want to go so you can be where you need to be. It's Road Gang Radio with Lindsay, Lawler, and Jimmy Mack on RadioNemo.com.
And by the way, we like saying RadioNemo.com. After all, this is Road Gang Radio. And if you listen to Road Gang Radio on Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, immediately after Road Gang Radio at RadioNemo.com, we always call this the best live transpo show in the known universe. We are quick to point out, too, by the way, though, that the best pre-recorded transpo show in the known universe is Trucking with OOIDA, Lindsay. It is so nice to share this particular space and this particular platform and venue with Scott Thompson and Ashley Blackford, the host of Trucking with OOIDA, OOIDA, who join us this morning just for a drop-in, just for a hello, and to see how you're doing. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy and Lindsay. How you doing?
Well, we're good, but I have a bone to pick. I'm going to start it off with a bone to pick. Why have I not been able to ever talk to these lovely people before? This is our first time connecting. I listen to them every time. I always see their picture pop up, and I'm like, I want to be best friends with these people, and I feel like someone is keeping us apart. So I'm glad that we're talking finally.
I don't think we've ever met. I do remember seeing you and hearing you sing, actually. I took a video of you at Matt's 2 years ago. But, yeah, we've never met or talked, which is kind of funny.
It is funny, and it's such a weird thing. It's actually what I want to talk to both of you, both Scott and Ashley, about today because, it's one thing. I feel like I know you because I listen to your show 3 times a week. So I'm like, oh, I know those people. And then when I saw your name pop on the calendar today, I was like, oh, wait, I don't actually know those people. I've actually not spent time with these people. But that's such a weird thing. Are y'all starting to feel that now that you're on the air doing the show? You're really the face of OOIDA here, the voice, rather, of OOIDA and what you guys are doing over there from a media standpoint. Are you feeling, is that an interesting shift to also realize that your voice is going out into the homes and more importantly, the trucks of so many every day, that the same thing, people out there like, I know them. Oh, wait, do I know them? Do you feel that?
Lindsay, I'd never thought about it, but now that you say that, I'm terrified.
Yeah, it's all you're going to think about now. You're welcome.
Now I've got a lot to think about.
Exactly.
I think it's a great point. I think Ashley and I kind of view our positions and our roles here as, sort of amplifying what the association is all about. Obviously, the issues that the association is involved in and the issues that the association has been pushing either for or against in the trucking industry for years, not decades in some cases. I think Ashley, I keep speaking for you, Ashley.
No, it's all right. No.
Yeah, I think we kind of view it as really a gift, right? And that we do get to talk about all the things that the association is so passionate about. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes down to many of the people who are probably listening to this right now who are making their living on the road each and every day and dealing with all those challenges that we talk about, whether it's, truck parking, detention time, all these issues that keep popping up on an everyday individual basis. But when you look at the big picture, it's all about us all coming together, I think, and trying to solve some of these issues. And I think we've made some progress in recent years, which is encouraging. But, that's kind of how I view my role. And Ashley, I think you can maybe agree
with
that.
Very much the same,
Yeah.
You can speak for each other now. It's a partnership. Your media partnership has two become one, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Ashley, I wanted to ask you this question because, we in many ways face some of the same challenges you guys have in that we changed formats. What we've also done that you guys, I think, have done as well, too, is that you guys have kind of kept some of the stuff that used to be on the previous platform while at the same time expanding what it is and to kind of respond to new trends in regards to podcasting, in regards to broadcasting, and to kind of keep up with that while still wrapping enough of it in a familiar form that a lot of the listeners understand, while at the same time beginning to push the boundaries. Can you talk a little bit about the transition, to go from what landline now to go from that space and time on the previous platform, and talk about what it means to kind of reimagine the world. But you guys have been thinking about this for a while, right? being enmeshed in the world of podcasting and in the world of kind of streaming media, talk about what it's like to kind of reinvent the way you brand something in regards to the way you kind of give out information and how fast you had to do it and what challenges you guys faced.
Wow. Yeah, it's been an interesting transition going from Landline Now. And mind you, I've been here, I think it'll be 4 years in January. So it's like opened up a whole new world for me as far as the trucking world. Came from a TV background as a journalist. But no, it's been a great transition. Landline Now, I think both Scott and I taught us, got our feet wet, and we learned a lot through that. Transitioning into the, podcast world, I know one thing that I've loved is just kind of the being able to be a bit more laid back has been wonderful. Not necessarily having too much of a time constraint, which is awesome. Because as you know, Jimmy and Lindsay, sometimes you get people who, you could talk to for 10 minutes. Sometimes you get people you could talk to for 2 hours. And I mean, they're absolutely fascinating. So I think just having some more flexibility and being a bit more real. Not that I don't think Landline Now is real, but I just think it was very, news-driven and just kind of being able to talk to people, to get to know people. I'm always fascinated how people got into the industry. And so just being able to ask those questions and, just having it be a bit more personal, I guess.
Yeah. I'll just add to that, too, that the trucking industry, and again, you both know this so well, it's just full of incredibly fascinating people who are coming with different perspectives from different walks of life. And to Ashley's point there, with Landline Now, it was a bit more, I guess structured is maybe the right word in a way or two. Not that we're not structured, although some people might argue that maybe we're not structured as much as we should be. But there's more of a conversation, more of a window, I guess, for conversation and getting to know these people who are so fascinating and have such fascinating stories and are able to, kind of convey that bit of personality to us a bit more. So I think that's been, at least the most, for me, the most kind of refreshing thing with this new, and I'll use air quotes here, new format that we've been doing here, is that we're spending a little more time getting to know people, kind of what Ashley talked about there, and I really have enjoyed that.
You're saying, actually, everything you're saying is making me really happy because it's all falling into something that I believe so much, that at the core of trucking, I think in all the years I've been going, as you guys have too, to these trucking shows and truck conferences, what I'm well aware of is within the trucking industry, we do a great job of reminding each other within the trucking industry how great the trucking industry is. The issue is letting the people outside of the trucking industry understand how great it is. And that's always been my thing. It's like from someone who's not a trucker like myself to be like, how can we bridge this gap? And so exactly what y'all are saying here, the fact that it's real, it's human interest stories, it's getting to know the people and the stories behind it. I think it's important. And so my question to you guys, I brought up this, I think yesterday on the show, the idea of, especially since it's National Truck Driver Appreciation Week, when you're out on the road and you look to the left or the right and you see a person in that cab, to remember something as simple as that is a person. That's not a truck driver or a truck or a big machine. I mean, it is all those things, but that is a person who has a family. And then we got into the conversation of people naming their trucks to make that truck seem less daunting on the road. It's like, oh no, that's not a scary machine. That's just Ruby, and so it became like a whole conversation around that. Have you felt that with a lot of, are you feeling that idea of really humanizing these people is what will hopefully maybe bridge a lot of divisiveness? Do you see that?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think on a couple of different levels, and I could probably take a couple of different paths in answering this, but I always go back to the pandemic and, what was that, 5 years ago? It feels like it was either yesterday or 20 years ago at this point. Yeah. But if you remember, like during the pandemic, it was all about applauding first responders and, medical professionals. Truck drivers got some of that love as people, I think, realized what they do for this country, not just during a pandemic, but each and every day. And there was that appreciation there that really, I think, was genuine from the general public as they were worried about getting toilet paper or whatever, whatever food they were hoping to not run out of stock of. And I thought maybe because I'm too optimistic or actually, you probably would say I'm not.
I was going to say, I think you're quite the opposite, but carry on.
I'm an optimistic realist. Let's go with that. But I honestly thought during that pandemic and in the aftermath of it that people would continue to have that in their mind and would remember all the sacrifices that truck drivers made while a lot of people stayed home. They were still out there because they had to be out there. And I've been, I guess maybe this is why I'm pessimistic and skeptical, Ashley. We have lost some of that with the general public, which is a shame. But I do think there is a sense out there that is maybe it's a little bit better than it was, I guess, in some respects. But at the end of the day, trucking can be a very isolating profession. You're spending days, weeks out on the road, oftentimes by yourself, which is why I think, your show and your shows and our show, that's what we're trying to do is to say, hey, you're not alone out there. We're all in this together. We love to talk with you. Hopefully you like to talk with us. And, again, with the spirit, again, I keep coming back to this. We're all in this together, and that's really this week with Truck Driver Appreciation Week going on. It's always great to remember that we are all in this together, and we'll get there. It just takes some time.
By the way, we live, make you feel better about it, Scott, as another caustic optimist is what I call myself. I like that. Think, yeah, I thought you might. We live in the United States of amnesia. Literally, the ideas of the news cycle move so quickly and everything kind of just fades into the distance. But part of our job, I sometimes think, Ashley, is that it's our job to kind of, and you probably had that sense of deja vu doing the show. There's a thing where if you have somebody who's an on-the-air partner, my wife had this experience with me, I'm sure Lindsay has too, like you're so repetitive, you keep saying the same things over and over again, and then you kind of realize, wait a minute, while we're talking to each other on the air, we're actually talking to everybody out there who has to kind of drop in and drop out and come back and leave. And so much of what we do on this job is we are repetitive to some degree because we've got to keep reminding people the things that are important so that it doesn't get lost in the midst of all the noise as opposed to trying to kind of become the signal. Do you ever get that feeling that there are certain points that you've got to keep hitting, Ashley? Because if you don't, they will get lost in the stream of everything else.
Oh, for sure. I feel like, some of these topics, it feels like we kind of drone on and on about them, but, they're all very important. One thing I've noticed, like I had mentioned, coming from a TV news background and seeing, some of those stories that I think pain all of us in the trucking industry, or at least some of us, I guess, with driver shortage and just the mainstream media reporting on things that they clearly don't understand. And like you said, it's a very quick cycle. And, having background in that and knowing, like, these reporters are just quickly, looking at a headline from one area, dragging it from the next. And that can be kind of frustrating, I think, from our perspective in that they are, getting out a false narrative or just not doing that research. And I think, we obviously try very hard to do that. Of course, I think we're kind of in a smaller area of just the trucking industry, but getting our voices heard outside of that is it's important.
Yeah.
We don't have much time here left. Just a moment or so.
No,
I want to kind of ask.
But these are my best friends.
I know. But
okay, we'll come back.
But
Okay,
yeah,
good.
you come back. That's part of the thing too. But I wanted to kind of really quickly with both of you guys. I just wanted to ask because Lindsay and I are still onboarding so many ideas. As you probably heard when you guys came in, we're just getting our new sound design put in place. There's all kinds of groovy stuff we've got cooking. You guys have any plans for anything that you are excited about? Because you're just in the nascent part of this project. Really quickly, anything you're just planning on kind of onboarding anytime soon you want to set our listeners up for? Because they're listening to you after they listen to us.
Yeah, I would say what the show is 6 months from now will probably be different. I wouldn't say wildly different, but we are like you. We are continuously honing what we're doing. Learning as we go. In the early days, I kept saying we were literally building the plane as we were flying it and trying to figure out how to land it. we are in the air right now. We've got the plane built, but we're now figuring out how it's all coming together. So, yeah, we're figuring out what works, what doesn't work. Mixing it all together, and here in a few months, things will be a little bit different. But again, with the same underlying idea here that we are for the truck drivers, and we want to make sure that we're delivering that message appropriately.
Well, and everybody remember to keep liking and sharing both our show, what we're doing here, what they're doing over there at Trucking with OOIDA, so we can continue to provide this for everybody for free. It's such an important thing where I feel like Trucking with OOIDA coupled with Road Gang Radio is like the new CB radio. That's the vibe we're bringing in, guys. So keep on listening. Scott Thompson, Ashley Blackford. You can hear them every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday over here at Road Gang Radio at 11, right after we go off the air. It's such a great show. Thank you guys for making us feel more, us dum-dums over here feeling more professional. Y'all are the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, truckers.
Thank you, truckers. That is right.